Manila, Philippines, a city that wakes up to the sound of jeepneys, the aroma of street food, and the dreams of millions. In the heart of this vibrant metropolis, a story was quietly unfolding, one that would soon echo across continents. A team of university students from the Philippines, once mocked for their English accent, just stunned the world. These were not just ordinary students, they were young visionaries, carrying the weight of a nation's hopes on their shoulders, and the sting of past ridicule in their hearts. They didn't just compete at the World University's debating championship, they won. Against all odds, they rose above the noise, the doubts, and the stereotypes to claim the highest honor in the world of debate. Against all odds, they out-argued teams from the world's most elite universities. Ivy League accents, polished British tones, and seasoned debaters from every corner of the globe, none could silence the clarity and conviction of these Filipino voices. The world expected them to stumble. Instead, they delivered a masterclass in logic and heart. Their arguments were sharp, their delivery passionate, and their unity unbreakable. Every word they spoke was a testament to their resilience. This wasn't just a win for a debate team, it was a statement for an entire nation. For every Filipino who's ever been told they're not enough, this victory was a beacon of hope, a reminder that greatness knows no accent. Their so-called accent became their secret weapon. What others saw as a flaw, they turned into a symbol of authenticity and pride. Their voices, once dismissed, now commanded the world's attention. In a world obsessed with a certain sound of intelligence, these students were the ultimate outsiders. They faced whispers, raised eyebrows, and the pressure to conform. But instead of hiding, they embraced their roots, letting their unique voices shine. Filipino English, often the butt of jokes, became the voice of victory. Their laughter after the debate, their tears of joy were not just for themselves but for every Filipino who's ever felt out of place. On that stage, their accent wasn't a punchline, it was the sound of brilliance. Judges leaned in, captivated not just by their arguments, but by the sincerity and courage behind every word. This win is more than a trophy. It's a message to anyone told their accent makes them less. It's proof that the power of your words isn't in how you say them, but in what you say, and the conviction behind it. The world saw that true intelligence isn't measured by imitation, but by authenticity. These students showed that courage, clarity, and heart can break barriers that accents never could. The world of debate, often elitist, just got a lesson in humility. The so-called underdogs became the standard bearers, teaching everyone that greatness can come from the most unexpected places. And the teachers? A group of young Filipinos who refused to let anyone else define their voice. They proved that when you speak with heart, the world listens, and sometimes it even stands to applaud. For decades, Filipino English has been a global punchline, often the subject of jokes and ridicule, both at home and abroad. It's a variety of English that's instantly recognizable, yet frequently misunderstood, mocked in comedy sketches, lampooned in viral memes, and imitated on television. Filipino English has been reduced to a stereotype: the sing-song intonation, the playful mixing of prepositions, and the occasional P for F. These quirks have become shorthand for humor, but they're only a small part of a much bigger story. Every mispronounced syllable, every unique turn of phrase, is a reflection of a nation's journey with language, one shaped by centuries of colonization, migration, and adaptation. What's often overlooked is the remarkable linguistic talent of the Filipino people. In a country where most people speak 2, 3, or even more languages, code switching is second nature. English is just one thread in a vibrant tapestry of tongues. But the ridicule isn't harmless. It chips away at confidence, making students and professionals alike second-guess themselves. It creates invisible barriers, making people feel like outsiders in their own country, or hesitant to speak up in global conversations. Imagine being a young Filipino, rehearsing your words over and over, not because your ideas lack substance, but because you're afraid of being mocked for your accent. The fear isn't about grammar or vocabulary, it's about how you'll be perceived. The internet has only amplified these anxieties. Social media, with its instant feedback and viral trends, has made many Filipinos feel pressured to hide their accent, to sound more neutral or Western, just to avoid criticism or ridicule. But here's the truth: Filipino English isn't broken or inferior. It's a recognized and respected variety of English, just like British American or Australian English. Linguists study it, teachers teach it, and millions use it every day. It has its own vocabulary, grammar, and rhythm, distinctive features that make it uniquely Filipino. These aren't mistakes, they're markers of identity, shaped by the country's history, culture, and resilience. From the bustling streets of Manila to family gatherings in the provinces, Filipino English is woven into daily life, a living testament to the nation's adaptability and creativity. The real issue was never the language itself, but the perception of it. For too long, that perception was clouded by ignorance, prejudice, and the lingering shadows of colonialism. But that perception, rooted in outdated biases and colonial attitudes, was about to be challenged and ultimately shattered. The Filipino debate champions knew this prejudice all too well. They had faced the snickers, the doubts, the dismissals, but they also knew the power of their voices and the strength of their ideas. They took what others saw as a flaw, their accent, their style, and transformed it into their greatest strength. With every argument, every speech, they proved that communication is about clarity, conviction, and heart. And they did it on the world's biggest stage, earning respect, admiration, and a standing ovation, not just for their English, but for their courage to speak it their way. To understand Filipino English, look to history. After the Spanish-American War, the U.S. made English the language of education and government in the Philippines. English became a bridge across a nation of hundreds of languages. Taglish, Tagalog mixed with English, emerged on Manila's streets. English wasn't about sounding American, it was about being understood. It's everywhere, in schools, on TV, in business. Filipinos don't just learn English, they live it, shape it, and make it their own. Their accent is the natural result of this history, a blend of local melody and global language. It's not a deviation, it's a new norm. This is the foundation from which the debate champions emerged. They didn't just study English for competition, they grew up with it. Their confidence came from authenticity, not imitation. The World University's debating championship is the Olympics of argument. The room is filled with crisp British and American accents, symbols of pedigree. When the Filipino team entered, the skepticism was palpable. They didn't look or sound like the others. Whispers and glances followed. Could they really compete at this level? Other teams had the right accent, the familiar cadence. The Filipinos had their own rhythm, clear, but distinctly theirs. They knew they were being judged before they spoke. Many would have tried to blend in. This team didn't. They weren't there to imitate, they were there to win. Their strength wasn't in sounding like everyone else, but in the power of their ideas. The skepticism was just noise. They focused on the signal. Surrounded by doubters, the Filipino team stood calm and confident. Their belief came from relentless preparation, months of research, practice, and debate. They knew their arguments were ironclad. Their confidence wasn't about their accent, it was about their substance. They weren't just debating for a trophy. They were representing everyone who'd ever been mocked for how they speak. This purpose fueled them, turning pressure into strength. As they took their places, there was no fear, only determination. They looked at the judges, the audience, their opponents. They breathed in, ready, not nervous. They were about to show the world what Filipino intelligence and resilience sound like. The storm was coming, and they were its calm center. They had forged their resolve in fire. The world was about to listen. The final debate's topic was global economic policy, complex, high stakes, and daunting for even the most seasoned speakers. The air in the auditorium was thick with anticipation, as students from around the world prepared to showcase not just their intellect, but their ability to persuade and inspire. The British team opened with flawless delivery and elegant language, their accents crisp and their arguments meticulously structured. Every word seemed to glide effortlessly, drawing admiration from the crowd. The room nodded along, captivated by style. The audience was swept up by the sophistication, their faces reflecting both respect and expectation. Then, the first Filipino speaker stood up, a quiet determination in their eyes. The shift in energy was palpable, as all eyes turned to the new challenger. Their accent was unmistakable, but their words were precise and firm. There was no hesitation, only a steady confidence that demanded attention. No wasted phrases, just direct, logical dismantling of the opposition. Each point was delivered with purpose, cutting through the complexity with refreshing clarity. Their strength, using English with economy and clarity, became their signature. They didn't hide behind flowery words. Instead, they let the power of their ideas shine through. They connected with judges and audience through simple analogies and relatable examples, making even the most abstract concepts feel personal and urgent. While others debated from theory, the Filipinos made it real. They drew from everyday life, news headlines, and shared experiences, grounding their arguments in reality. Their delivery, once mocked for its difference, became a tool of connection. The audience, once skeptical, now leaned in, eager to hear more. The passion in their voice made their arguments resonate. Every word carried conviction, and every gesture underscored their sincerity. The audience leaned in, the snickers gone, replaced by genuine curiosity and respect. The atmosphere shifted from amusement to admiration. The Filipino team wasn't just holding their own, they were taking control. With each round, their confidence grew, and so did their influence over the room. By being unapologetically themselves, they changed the game. Their authenticity and courage not only won the debate, but also redefined what it meant to truly connect and persuade on the world stage. Halfway through, the atmosphere changed. Judges looked up, genuinely engaged. The Filipino team's logic exposed flaws in their opponents' elegant but empty arguments. The audience responded with real applause, not just politeness. Whispers shifted from accent to admiration. Did you hear that rebuttal? The focus moved from how they spoke to what they said. Even the opposing team looked rattled. The Filipinos weren't playing for style, they were winning on substance. They reframed complex points in simple, direct terms. By the final speech, the outcome was clear. The closing was calm, passionate, and human. Silence, then thunderous applause. The outsiders had just made history. The unanimous decision came. The Filipino team had won. But the real victory was how they won, by embracing, not hiding, their identity. They proved the message is always more powerful than the accent. Their authenticity created a connection no polished accent could match. They reminded everyone, communication is about connection, not perfection. Their win challenged the bias that intelligence sounds a certain way. They forced the world to confront its prejudice. A brilliant idea is brilliant, no matter the accent. This was a win for diversity, a blow to snobbery. Their superpower was substance, not pronunciation. Their victory was for good ideas, not just good English. They showed that conviction matters more than accent. News of their victory swept the Philippines. National pride soared. The team became instant heroes, changing the narrative for millions. They inspired young Filipinos to own their voice and accent. Their win resonated worldwide, giving hope to non-native English speakers everywhere. The global stage belongs to everyone, not just native speakers. The Filipino team proved diverse voices enriched the conversation. They redefined what it means to be a great communicator. It's not about a perfect accent, it's about connection, persuasion, and courage. Their authenticity became their strength. The lesson, your voice matters, your accent is part of your story. The world is a symphony of voices. Everyone deserves to be heard. Speak up, speak clearly, and speak with pride. The world is listening.